Good evening, Councillors, and thank you all for coming to this very important meeting of the Visual Novel Book Club. If you just hold on a moment, I'll just go ahead and take roll. Presiding, the Councillor of Love, Devious Vacuum, hello. Has Councillor Pulahoko present?
Present.
Say...
Oh, say the thing!
Say the thing!
Councillor...
Say Councillor Pastry Pulahoko.
Excuse me. A point of order, the Councillor will address himself by his proper title.
Right, of course, sorry. Councillor Pastry present.
Is Councillor Slowbeef present?
Present. Councillor Dad is here. Online and ready to support.
God, you ruined it already. It was supposed to be Captain Dad.
No, it wasn't.
No.
We'll just
Captain Dad.
We'll just edit this part
I don't
out.
know. Dad.
It'll be fine.
No, this is exactly like an actual cabinet meeting.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna edit this out. We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, sure.
Is Councillor Jim present?
The Counselor of Counting is here.
And Councillor Turbo C.
Councillor of Cats reporting.
Thank you all. Let's just try to keep this meeting quick and orderly for once. We've all met here today in order to propose the next visual novel that we will be reading for Visual Novel Book Club. I open the floor to suggestions from the counselors.
We're doing read-only memories. Meeting concluded.
Objection. I'm sorry, but you do not have the requisite number of votes.
Alright. Okay.
Tell us about
sorta...
this read-only memories.
Read-only memories, to my understanding, does stray a bit from the normal visual novel formula we've been, reading, and it gets into sort of adventure gamey territory. That said, it's linear enough that it's not a tried and true what a person would think of with an adventure, like a point-and-click adventure game. There is story, there are characters to meet, there's a little branching, but not anything where you can widely diverge or anything like that. I actually was a Kickstarter backer to this game because it said it was inspired by Snatcher. I got a couple things about Snatcher wrong in the Kickstarter, but I looked past that. I played the demo. I actually couldn't really get into it, so I was thinking that I am kind of interested to play it some more, and maybe if you'd all like to do it with me, that would be a fun thing.
It's true, I had wanted to play that.
How many people can...
I can tell you more about it, I'm sorry, if you want me to.
How many people can you date in it?
It's not, I do not believe it is, a dating sort of game, so... you're a writer, and an AI named Turing comes to talk to you, and basically, Turing's creator, who is, I believe, a friend of yours or someone you know, has gone missing, and it takes place in sort of cyberpunk Neo-San Francisco. I kind of forget what year exactly,
2064, it's in the title.
That's it, thank you, yes, 2064. And, yeah, so it's basically sort of you're unraveling this mystery having to do with, these sentient AIs going around. Cute sentient AIs, mind you, not, murderous ones or anything. Although I didn't play very much of the game, so maybe that comes into play later. I don't know. There is a voice-acted version.
Yeah. Doesn't it include some of your friends?
It does. It includes Jim Sterling, notably. I believe it includes Zoe Quinn. I believe it includes a couple other people.
Dan Reichert, I believe, is in it?
Dan Reichert, yeah.
Yeah. And the guy who did the original voice, the English voice of Gillian Seed.
Oh, Jeff Lupidon, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah. He was in the Kickstarter thing, that's right.
Yeah, I was in the trailer
for
for
the
that.
actual game. Yeah. I'm friends with all of those people. No,
Best friends.
But,
so you've
friends.
You've
we
been
hang
bought
out
off
at all
is
the parties. No, basically, I barely know these people and talk to them. They tolerate me on Twitter every so often.
Jim Sterling says how much he loves you. That's bullshit.
Once. But
it was just one time. It didn't mean anything.
The council will remain objective in their evaluation. Thank you very much.
So, no, I thought of a couple, but I figured read-only memories could be a fun one. So, that's Councillor Dad's recommendation, and there you have it.
The only thing that the main reservation that I have is that upon Googling this, it does specifically call itself an adventure game and not a visual novel. Even though, like, I know enough about this game to say, like, I think it does fall into the realm of a visual novel, and I feel like they use that to kind of, I don't know, make it seem, like, make sure it's situated in something that sounds more serious than a visual novel.
Maybe it's a thing, like, well, if we call it a visual novel, nobody's gonna buy it, so we'll call it an adventure game, because everybody buys those.
If this truly was inspired by Snatcher, I would call it an adventure game, but it's linear enough that you don't really get stuck. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I guess the only thing I would ever say, the problem with having an adventure game, like a tried and true adventure game on Visual Novel Book Club is, like, if you did Gabriel Knight, it's like, okay, play up to this, and it's like, well, you'd have to use a walkthrough and just follow it so closely you're barely even playing. There's, like, puzzles, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, to that end, that would present a problem, but like a linear sort of thing where it's like, I'm clicking on conversation choices until I get the next gating section is pretty much kind of what, like, Ever 17 was to some extent. Well, maybe not, but I don't know that I'm
17 had kind of the opposite problem where it's like, go through all your choices and that's your gate.
No, but that's like, technically...
That is.
That's the exact same problem. Yeah. Sorry, I got my words.
Because a classical adventure game has all the commands like push, pull, show, all that kind of stuff. Whereas like
Taste.
the kind of the halfway point of those two things is where you just keep clicking on things till you see all the things and ask all the questions.
Right, it's just, yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, your next objective is to talk to someone, so you go to the bar, and you just talk to people in there. You can do as much flavor stuff as you want, or you can go right for the objective. So, I note the reservation, I think it's a fair one. I don't think it can get too in the weeds like an adventure game would, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
linear enough for a book club.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's read-only memories. Do we have any other suggestions from the council?
Sure, I'll go with mine. So this is one actually that I've been meaning to pitch to the group since I joined in the start of season 2, but I was like, it just started. I think they already have a game set up, whatever. And this is a game called. So now that we actually have a season 3 to try out, this is a game called Hustle Cat. This is a game by the studio? They're called Date Naito. They've made a couple other games called We Know the Devil, Starfighter Eclipse. A bunch of cool games. Hustle Cat's gotten pretty popular, though. And basically, let me pull up the description that I was reading earlier. You play as Avery Gray, the newest employee of a popular cat cafe called A Cat's Paw. The coffee is good, the staff is friendly, and kinda cute, but mysterious. One day you find a strange book in the basement with letters you can't quite read. So this is sort of your standard visual novel. It is a lot more upbeat than Hate and... or Analog of Hate Story and Hate Plus, where I don't think there's any like super bad. Well, there are some bad ends actually, but nothing like it's not innately like everything is in Hate Plus.
Right. It's not going to make you feel too bad.
Yeah.
Like,
this is sort of what you'd standard picture when you do a visual novel. This is you're chatting along with a bunch of people. Pretty much everyone you talk to is a potential romance, I guess I could say. It's a bit weird. You sort of
love
like go on
interest.
love interest maybe. I mean, some of it's more just like friendliness, but like there's a depending on the character you sort of chill out with. You know, it can either be a relationship or you're just like you're cool pals that play video games together.
Some sort of companionship.
Yes, that's a good word for it. But basically, you play as Avery. You work at a cat cafe, and the sort of I don't think it's just too spoilery to say. people turn into cats.
That's how you know it's a visual novel.
Yeah. So there's like magic involved. The people that work at the cat cafe turn into cats when they leave. So it's like trying to figure out how to cure them and things like that.
Cat people, like anthropomorphic.
No,
cats.
like full on cats.
Like actual cats.
Whew. All right, didn't have to exercise that veto just yet.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
You don't sex them in cat form.
Okay, good.
What is a cat cafe?
Oh man,
Oh, boy.
I should have
Wow.
explored that. No, and that's a good question.
I
'cause
don't know either, Paul.
I don't
I'm with
really-
you. Don't worry.
I don't
I
know.
was
If,
picturing
the
like a
best.
cafe where like they have cats and
Yes,
you go
yes.
there and
Yeah.
you have coffee
You did
and
it
then
first.
you pet
Nailed
the
it on
cats.
the first try. Yes. Yep.
yeah, they serve you like pastries and stuff, and there's a bunch of cats. Usually they're like adoptable cats, and they come play with you, or you can just watch them.
Oh, they're adoptable. Like if you go and you see a cat that you like, you can take it home.
Yeah,
Yeah. Many
Well,
of them.
oh.
They like work with shelters in the area.
yeah.
Oh, I thought it was
mostly-
kind of like a dog park, but for okay, got it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
mostly
you don't
a Japanese thing, from what I remember. There's a few that are starting off in America, but they're big health concerns with having live animals while
yeah, that is
serving
kind
food.
of- yeah.
But no, it's cute. Food, coffee, and like a coffee shop, but with like cats running around.
That's actually a really good idea to have something like that in the area. Because I've got a friend that spends a lot of time in animal shelters, and he just basically goes there and plays with the cats and like feeds them and stuff. So to have something like that in a place where people usually are anyway, yeah,
You
I
could
like
open
that.
You could open the first cat cafe in your area, Paula.
Maybe.
You could have a Kickstarter about Paula's Cat Cafe, PCC, and let's talk after this.
Okay, yeah.
Merchandising and everything.
But that's
already-
that's
they've already-
not the purpose of this meeting. We need to define.
You
Yes, we need to stay on task.
Yeah. So
So,
that's getting my vote. If you want me to change my vote, you're gonna have to bribe me.
So two things that I actually really like about Hustle Cat, other than the fact that it is, one is that it's actually like pretty upbeat. It's not. I don't know. It's a heartwarming story, I think. Because like everyone has their own struggles, but I played through one of the routes. And I should mention that there are 5 main people you can have companionships with, and then there's I don't know how to phrase it otherwise.
it sounded so euphemistic that way.
You could say like there's,
I'm like trying to not be euphemistic about it. It's
there's like
it's
5
so
I'm holding
innocuous.
a baby, so
you can say like there's 5 routes or something.
Yeah, there's 5 routes. Thank you, everyone. Give me better word choices than what I'm
And
saying.
there's 5 of us.
That's what I was getting to. There is a 6th one after you beat all the 5 routes. So if we do this, we'll just discuss later how we get to that or whatever. The other thing I really like about Hustle Cat is you get to sort of customize Avery. You get to choose their appearance if they're more feminine or more masculine. And then like hairstyles and skin colors, and you get to choose the pronouns for them. So it's actually pretty nice. Nothing changes in the game based on that, other than dialogue if you're changing the pronouns. So.
I guess I should mention too, by the way, not to steal thunder or anything, but like ROM 2064 has that as well.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah, they're
Pronoun preference stuff, yeah.
More and more games are
that.
adding that now.
yeah. Hustle Cat, I think, was the first one that I saw that did it. And then I remember seeing Read Only Memories doing that as well. I completely forgot about that until now, though. All right, so so that's Hustle Cat. Sorry, were there any questions about it before we move on to something else? Didn't think so.
Do we have length for these games? Relative length?
That's good. That's a very good question.
In hours, I guess.
I'm gonna see if I can just find a long play real quick Read-only memories.
I know Hustle Cat's relatively short.
Oh.
I played through one of the routes.
I looked that up for mine, but I haven't contributed yet.
So read-only memory is just looking on a YouTube playthrough. Part 1 is 3.5 hours that they have here. I don't see a part 2, so never mind. But it's so I think it's meaty. I don't think it's like it's not one of those like 40-hour games or anything crazy like that.
HowLongToBeat.com says Hustle Cat says the main story is about 3 hours, and to do all of them would be about 10 hours.
10 hours? Okay. How Long to Beat Read-Only Memories is average 7 hour, 10.5 with main and extras, but interestingly completionists say 1836. So about 10 hours.
Main story is like 8, so I think we're fine on that too.
Yeah.
Alright.
So it's
Alright.
neck and neck.
So, Counselor of Counting, would you like to bring your suggestion to the table?
Absolutely. My suggestion is 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. The first of the non-arena
My man!
games. 999. This is kind of building on the idea that Captain Dad suggested with his
I changed my mind. I suggest Danganronpa.
No! I quit this podcast! Slowby finally faces his fear.
Oh, God.
It's taking Rumpa all over again.
Don't get me started. No. Anyway, sorry.
No, it's
999.
So, yeah, just the idea that moving more away, not away, but moving in sort of the evolution of visual novels, it seems to have taken place not in all circumstances, but in many, is that they get closer to adventure games. I think obviously there's a big aspect of the adventure game in this particular visual novel, in that it bills itself as a visual novel adventure game, and it has puzzles. The one thing I would suggest for this, it seems like there's roughly the same level of playthrough. Most people say it's like 10 hours for main story, and then like 18 if you do like every single thing. I would probably suggest that what we do is be able to easily use walkthroughs for puzzles if we want to, if we were going to play through this.
So so I played through 999. They also did interesting enough, iOS release of it where it doesn't include the puzzles, and it's very much like visual novel-y.
Yeah.
Oh, so in cases where there's puzzles, it just kind of does the puzzles for you.
Yeah, it just sort of skips them. The rooms
Sorry.
sort of relate to the story, interestingly enough, but I mean, I guess they just sort of show the dialogue for that.
Right. The only thing with the iOS version though is that the new version that's been released is like the whole the collection, the Non-Arena Games collection.
Oh yeah, and it's voiced.
It's voiced, and it gives you the whole like the treed stuff, where like it tells you, like it shows you what you've completed so far and where you can go, like how to go to the next thing to complete the next ending. So it makes it a lot easier to keep track of what you've been doing.
Okay.
But obviously, I think this is a pretty, everybody kind of knows about it so far. It's one of those things where you end up, you're on a ship and there's, you just wake up and there's somebody like, you're wearing a bracelet with a number on it. Or actually, the main character is that you're sort of playing, and then it's like there are 9 participants, and each has an explosive in their stomach that will go off if they try to bypass these locks and all this kind of stuff.
They have to play horrifying Saw puzzles or whatever.
Yeah, are there any puppets involved here?
It's not too brutal though, from what I've seen. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's scary stuff and people die, but it's not meant to be a horror game. It's meant to be the kind of thing where you have to like make these choices that have real consequence.
There's I played through this game. I love the 999, the non-arena game series. Really,
did we all know it? We could do would this be like a spoiler playthrough?
I only know of it. I've never played it.
Have you, Dvec?
I watched an LP of it.
No.
Yeah.
So, question: have all of us played the sequel, Virtue's Last Reward?
Yes.
No. Yes.
Okay.
No.
Well, Jim, have you
I'm
played
still
it?
I haven't played any of these.
Oh, you haven't played 999 either?
No. Right.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, I actually, so like you mentioned, I picked Ever 17 for the first one because I love the 999 series. So I call it the 999 series, even though it's not, or whatever. And I was interested in like something by the same author, Chikoshi. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of it. I can say for like the puzzles are it's all linear enough. It's very easy to follow along. That game you do kind of have to 100% in a way. There's a couple skippable things, but they all sort of it's not as and you can like skip text, so it's not as bad as like Ever 17 was with that stuff. I think it's doable logistically. I guess the only counterpoint I have, I wouldn't mind playing it again, honestly, with the voice acting, and it's been a while. But the only other counterpoint I have is we did a new Chikoshi one for season 1.
Yeah.
So it's like Uchikoshi, love Uchikoshi, but I'm not going to veto it personally at all. So like, plus I would die to do Virtue's Last Reward because I love that game.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, man, if we do 999, then we could do VLR, which I really love. But that one's going to be even longer than 999.
Arguing
That
against
one's
myself,
tough,
the
yeah.
idea that I wasn't aware that 3 of us have completed it, that probably takes away from the discovering aspect, which would downgrade this, in my opinion. Because, I mean, part of this is we all sort of experience it at the same time. I think maybe if one person knew in advance what was going to happen, that's doable, but if like the majority of us know, that's going to take away from the experience.
Oh man, it's so fun though.
There's a logistical way, I think, around that.
Does it involve wiping out memories?
So it is interesting.
I don't want to like well, we can discuss the logistics.
I should
around it
also
and stuff,
say that you don't
but-
need to complete all of the routes to beat the game, so to get the true ending, so to speak. So I haven't played through all the routes.
Oh, you should. It's fun.
I think there's also, if we did play a game that we were all more familiar with, eventually, not necessarily now, but in the future, we could also have a segment of the podcast that is the spoiler zone for the podcast, especially if it's a game that a lot of people listening have also played before. And I think if you're going to get into the nonary games, like that's going to be one that a lot of people have played.
Is it nonary or nonary? It's nonary? Wow.
I actually
Nonary,
don't know. The only person that I've heard pronounce it out loud is Super Great Friend, who doesn't always pronounce things great, so...
Alright, I'm looking this up.
Yes.
I mean, when you say nonary, doesn't that have something to do with numbers?
yeah.
9,
It's,
the number 9, yeah.
yeah.
I think nonary. Yeah.
I feel like all 3 games, like all the games they play, have to do with the number of 9 in some degree, unless I'm
Well, they're all nonary games.
right. Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. Because they refer to them. Right. Yeah.
It's better not to think too hard about it, I think, in the case of those games.
Yeah.
Right. I'll say this. I would say maybe. Well, I don't want to say discount logistics. I feel like we could work with it, and I do think that there's still like people. Even if people are in the know, they'd be interested to hear what people who haven't played might have played. But that said, it would be a little different than. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how to advise on that, but that's I guess. Yeah. If it makes sense, I'm just saying. I wouldn't count it out just for the logistics. If that, I think we could do something.
It would definitely
But,
be
alright.
hard, for me to hold back my excitement as someone's being like, oh, and then this happened, and I'm like, well, wait, do you see? No. But no, I definitely think it would be fun. It's a very good game.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. Well, I gotta say, my vote is probably going to be for Hustle Cat, because I had already put it on the list before Turbo had brought it up, but another one that I had on my list of things that I will probably play anyway is We Know the Devil. And it is an earlier, or is it an earlier or a later game by Date Naito?
It is earlier, and I should also
Earlier.
say this was my my second choice of what to to pitch.
It's also much shorter, and it's much more of just a story, which we talked about the types of games we want to play, and there are 3 routes, and the idea is that there are 3 main characters, and you choose, basically, you have 3 friends, and you choose which friend is left out, and then there's 3 different pairings and different outcomes for the story, and it takes place at a religious summer camp where a group of friends is spending the night in the woods where they are going to meet the devil. And what that means for them, and it seems metaphorical. Since we were just talking about cat cafes, I believe this is a metaphorical devil, but I'm not sure. And they all have planet names, so the main characters are Venus, Neptune, and Jupiter. and yeah, and it's in that, it's also I think after this is when Pillow Fight got started, which is a company that I guess produces visual novels, and they produced this game and have continued to produce other games and are working on other good games that I like or want to play. And in the future, when they come out, I hope we play them on the show, especially Ghosts of Miami. But those aren't out yet, so I can't vote for that one yet. So yeah, so this is more, definitely like a more emotional story where there is, there's something going on in the background, but it's shorter and more focused on character relationships. It's the kind of thing where, we would talk about what's going on and how people reacted, and probably have more emotional conversations, which I think that is also going toward, stemming from sort of like some of the best parts of Analog and Hate Plus that we really enjoyed. Like the plot itself was sort of it was okay, but the side off stories that sort of like describe people's lives were really more interesting, and so that's kind of where this would go in terms of appeal and what kind of discussion would come from it. And it's definitely the kind of game where you can see your younger self in it, in different ways, in the different characters.
Huh.
Everybody will probably find something that they can relate to, especially in a lot of these kind of stories, I think.
Nah, not me.
Or not at all. Just like our Night in the Woods discussion, right? Like a lot of people can probably find something they can relate to in the game, but if you can't, then that really sucks. Yeah, but I also really want to play Hustle Cat. Oh man, it's so cute. And sort of upbeat and positive, which would be a nice sort of follow-up to the Hate games, and kind of how much of a downer they were.
Yeah.
But I also I'm torn now, because I actually do also really want to play Read Only Memories, because I heard it was real cute. And
I'm super torn right
appealing.
now. Like, even We Know the Devil, like, just that description that you gave, I'm like,
Yeah. I know. I'm actually looking at it like on the Steam page too, like, and yeah, this looks like a really interesting one.
I think these are all possibilities for the future. I think
Yeah,
these are all things that
definitely.
Yeah, it's not like we'll never do them, or
Yeah, it's just like,
which one?
Which one next?
which do I want to play now?
we have to choose one and none of the others.
Here's what we'll do. We'll read a little bit of each one and make our own story that's an amalgam of them.
We'll all read a different visual novel, and then we'll meet up and we'll talk.
The year is 2064. Junpei's bracelet says he can't leave the cat cafe. Sorry, anyway.
Oh man.
Or he'll summon the devil.
Fucking
There's 9.
Junpei. Oh my god.
9 devils. Voiced by Jim Sterling.
Alright.
Who turned into a cat?
Alright, so how do we want to do this vote? Should we go around?
Also, Nier Automata's there. I'm sorry. Okay, did we all go?
Well, no, I didn't go.
Yeah.
Oh
that's
yes,
it.
Pulahoko. You're the swing vote. So
Well,
tell us what's
I
in your
am,
heart.
but that doesn't mean I don't get to talk at length about what visual novel we should do next.
This
I thought
wouldn't
you were
be
just
a-
going to go into your... Here's what been happening in my life since I have time to talk.
This wouldn't be a council meeting if everyone didn't have time to talk as much as they wanted about whatever they wanted.
So, I think that all I'm going to do is read the synopsis of it and let you guys talk amongst yourselves, see if this is something that we're interested in, and go from there. So, something sinister is afoot. When Princess Toadstool tries on a new pair of red hot sneakers, the shoes suddenly dash from the room with the princess still in them. Her Highness has been kidnapped by Ludwig von Koopa to star in his basketball
God.
ballet. Unless
You have a
Mario...
10-second joke. You're stretching to 2
Wait,
minutes.
hold on. Give him a chance. I want to know about
sorry.
the high tops.
Okay, you're right.
Unless Mario and Luigi rescue the princess, she will be doomed to a life of dribbles and dunks. Nintendo Adventure Books number 5, Pipe Down.
Oh, it's not like Mike? I think you were describing the plot. Of the
Yeah,
movie.
no, it was Like Mike starring Lil Bow Wow 2002.
Yeah, just imagine that, but Princess Peach.
That sounds
Played
great.
by
Make
Lil
a
Bow
strong
Wow.
case, yeah. How many branching pathways are there?
It doesn't say.
100.
It says there's codes, puzzles, mazes, and enemies. You and the Mario Brothers must outwit the Koopas at their own game or go down in final defeat.
Oh my god.
But there are cowboy boots in this game. Let's see, list of items. Basketball, Starman, wading boots, cowboy boots, army boots, a balloon not shown, and a
This is an
noisemaker
interesting-
not shown.
This is an interesting counterpoint because in most visual novels you never get to see anyone's shoes.
Yeah, you definitely have the shoe game. You got that swinging on your side. I don't think there's any shoe-based mechanics in Hustle Cat.
Petition to replace Pulahoko's choice with another one.
You have the security veto.
What would you say about trying to champion Hoddleful Boyfriend?
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
I'll play ball. So
I can't
our
believe this
Audible-
wheeling and dealing is going because is happening right during the meeting.
Hey, this is
Well-
what politics are. There's give and take. You play hardball sometimes. It's not easy. So, Hoddleful Boyfriend. So that's the dating sim where you're pigeons. Or I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know if you're a pigeon.
No,
You're not.
You're a girl.
You're not
You
a
are
pigeon.
Dating pigeons.
So you're okay. So
Maybe.
you're Ernie, and
Maybe.
you're dating pigeons, and you're in high school for pigeons.
Play as Princess Peach.
It's true.
And
You
you
could
may
play as
have-
Princess Peach.
Yeah, you may have magic shoes of some kind. We don't know at this juncture. I think we could do it. People love it for some reason.
So I've been told that the birds have human forms as well, which
But you
which
can turn
just-
those off.
which freaks me out even more.
I heard a legitimately kind of interesting thing about Hoddleful Boyfriend, which I don't know if I should mention because I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, but I've only played a little tiny bit of it. So, but it was something that was freely told to me, so I guess it wasn't, like, too much of a spoiler, but, like, I guess just to dance around it and not say it, there is actually a vaguely, not super serious, but a vaguely serious element to Hoddleful Boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Not in terms
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So, I don't know too much about that. I'd be interested to explore it. I will say that.
It's a weird game. It's a weird game. It's a good game. There's a lot of different. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that goes on depending on whose route you're on, and it can be very drastically different. So I think
Yeah,
if we
I
were gonna play that
had
game, we would
one-
want to go through everybody's routes together because it would start to diverge pretty quickly.
Yeah, like apparently one of the routes is like really serious.
And I think there are different lengths and stuff like that. Like I think there's just a lot of ways you can just die. There's a lot happening. I don't
we
know.
got birds or cats?
I'm really familiar with Hatoful Boyfriend, and so I think I would I'm not saying that I would quit the podcast for that particular season, but I think I need more distance between me and Hatoful Boyfriend.
Okay. I was gonna say that I think it might have been helpful maybe to have like a guide kind of.
Although, which would be more frustrating, playing Hatoful Boyfriend and remembering everything about it, or playing 999 and remembering everything about it? It's hard. That's a hard decision for me to make in my heart.
So, but the one thing I would say in 999's defense, not to like be too much, but like, it's very 999's dense. I think it's like something that if you did a second playthrough of, you might catch other things.
But do I want to?
Okay, there's that. But, yeah, I mean, the thing is, I don't really know enough about any of the other choices, which is actually, like, why I'm like, maybe I should vote for something else just because, for the exploration factor. And not to fanboy too much, but, that's, anyway, neither here nor there. I certainly, though, I mean, I kind of gave that the poll as sort of like a jokey one, but I do remember us, like, kind of bringing it up, so I wouldn't want to lose you or anything, so whatever.
I don't know, I feel like it had its time where everyone was, like, everyone was talking about this game, and this might just be from, like, my social circles, but, like, everyone was talking about it. Oh my gosh, it's so weird, it's so weird, it's so weird, and it just... And now it's, like, over. I don't know. I
gotcha.
Where it's
Makes
like,
sense,
it would be like if we went back into Danganronpa. Like, revisit
changing my vote again.
Intense hype from the relatively recent past.
I'm ready to love again with Danganronpa, by the way, just for the record.
Okay.
So, I've gotten over
forgive
that.
And forget Water Under the Bridge.
I've forgotten why I liked it so much, legitimately, but, it sucked having to moderate that. Anyway, to be more serious. No, I would, in case you ever did want to, like, suggest that for Season 4 or something, I would not, like, immediately veto it. That said, I don't think it's a wonderful candidate.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. I would take Phoenix Wright over Danganronpa, but that's also more because I would love to introduce more people to Phoenix Wright who haven't played it.
Yeah. Back when we
How
first started
many
this, the question was, to me, was, have you read any visual novels? And my answer was, well, is Phoenix Wright a visual novel? Because otherwise, no.
Yeah, I think we've all played Phoenix Wright, though.
I haven't played any Phoenix Wrights.
Oh, right.
I have only played through the first one.
I'm a Philistine.
Yeah, I'm only the first one, too, so yeah.
The only thing I know about Phoenix Wright is that everybody ships Phoenix Wright with the bad guy, the prosecutor.
Oh,
if he's bad, Edgeworth.
He's like an anti-hero.
He's a good villain.
He's like
Shadow, honestly, like, that's
the
enough
hedgehog.
for me. Like, you've already got me. Like, you've already got my interest. Definitely. But I just never played it.
I would, yeah.
I just want to clarify, I got your interest with calling him Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh, yeah, that too. That too. Yeah.
Okay, good. That's a part I wanted to get
Shadow
across.
the Hedgehog, what else do I want in a video game? I mean... Anyway, we don't want to... We want to narrow our options, not expand them.
So I would narrow them down to the 3 that we haven't played before.
Yeah, I love 999 so much, but I kind of want to try something new.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd go read only.
As much as it pains me to say it, I don't really want to do it for Season 4. Maybe sometime later down the line. Or even just do a spoiler cast of it. I don't fucking know.
So that's Read Only Memories, We Know the Devil, and Hustle Cat?
Yeah.
All right.
That's my feeling. Anybody else?
Well, I definitely my heart is gonna go to Hustle Cat as much as I do want to play We Know the Devil. I also just find Hustle Cat really cute, and I'm like gonna go for the happy cute option, definitely.
Yeah.
I like all 3. I mean, wherever way the vote goes, I'll be happy with it. But I'm leaning read only just because I really have been wanting to play it for a while, and this is a good excuse to. So,
So DVAC, you're voting Hustle Cat. Jim, you're voting read only. Now, how about I fuck this up and vote We Know the Devil? No, I'm pretty torn, truthfully.
I am
thinking
too.
about it.
One of the goals that I've had for this is that for the men on the podcast to kind of put y'all more in a position where you have to either like where you're in the perspective of a more female oriented visual novel, or at least non-straight male oriented visual novel, and kind of hear like your perspective as you go through it. And we and that was great with Hate Story and those games, but they were huge downers, and this is like a cute, like, where you're supposed to be like you're getting emotionally invested in like a positive and sweet way, and that's as like my brand is like, hey, why don't people who normally think like this kind of game isn't for me, like, try it, and also like genuinely try to like it and see if there's things about it that they like. And so that's kind of where I am. And so Hustle Cat being
so
like,
you're challenging
pink and cute.
I see. So you're challenging my masculinity in order to vote
by
for
my
Hustle
existence.
Cat.
Yeah.
so fragile.
I
so
see.
fragile.
My God, the machinations.
The obscene,
Obeisances.
yeah, that thing.
I will say it completely worked on me. I'm unequivocally voting for Hustle Cat.
Whoa.
There we go. That's that may swing it.
It's got pastries. It's got cats. It's got hustles.
So yeah, that's
Doesn't
three.
have
That's-
actually much hustling.
Is that 3 votes for Hustle
That
Cat?
is,
then?
that is 3 votes for Hustle Cat. That's it.
Okay,
Well, I'm vetoing it. We're playing read. No, I'm kidding.
No, we're all just
all right,
playing
then.
Snatcher again.
That's going to be the last season.
I wouldn't dirty Snatcher with this podcast. All right.
Only
I'd play
professional.
Snatcher for this.
We're reading the actual text of SD Snatcher.
Honestly, no.
Good, that saves me
Alright,
the
then.
awkward position of having to vote for the thing I pitched. Even though I was legitimately torn between all the things, I was leaning more towards Hustle Cat just because I need an upper. I don't know about We Know the Devil. I think Read Only the Memories could be an upper.
Yeah, it seemed rather lighthearted from when I played of it. Like I wouldn't. I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know anything about it really, so it could go into that territory. It could not. And I don't want to know, so don't tweet me about it. So yeah. All right then. Season 3 of Visual Novel Book Club. Hustle Cat. Be there or be square. Is that right, D-Vac?
Wait, is that what the kids say?
Is that no? I mean, you're leading this
Is
thing.
that
I
what
forgot.
the Supreme Counselor says
yes,
when
of
they end
course.
the meeting?
Yes, I adjourn this meeting in favor of Hustle Cat. Thank you, counselors, for your cooperation. This was a much shorter meeting than our usual ones, so I'm glad. And I'd like to applaud everyone for staying on time and mostly following the rules. Meeting adjourned.